Welcome to another episode of the Dogs on Base podcast. This episode comes to you the eve before the Eugene Regional. Oregon is paired with Yale, as we discussed last time, and in this episode we'll be previewing the Yale Bulldogs, how their season's gone, some of their notable names, and how Oregon lines up against them. Fox, you want to start us off?
Yeah, so Yale has had a very good season overall. They have gone 30, 13, and 1 overall. They had one tie this season. They have 144 RPI, 190 DSR, and 292 strength of schedule. But that doesn't matter because you've won your conference and you get into the postseason, as every Ivy League team basically has done over the past year. This is their 7th regional appearance, and this is the start of their new regional streak. They are 14-1 at home and 12-8-1 away. So that's good for the Ducks. They've overall had a little worse record away than at home. Going over some stats, they score around 7.86 runs per game. They strike out 21% of the time. And they steal a lot. They have 2.86 steals per game. So Berkeley, maybe as if Yale gets on, will be busy trying to hold and keep runners on. They have a 4.72 ERA combined and a 1.356 WHIP, a 2.2 strike to walk ratio. But overall, you gotta keep out for these teams. As we saw last year with Utah Valley, any team in baseball can have one good night where their pitcher just goes off and completely stymies a better team. Overall, the big thing with Yale is going to be this pitching matchup.
Mm-hmm.
The team overall, as I said, 4.71 ERA. Their starter, who it's a toss-up. We're not entirely certain who's going to start, but it's either going to be Tate Evans, the Ivy League pitcher of the year, or Jack Oman, the previous Ivy League pitcher of the year. So it's really a pick your poison of who they're going to throw. Tate Evans is the better starter this year, 2.72 ERA. 1.01 WHIP, 7-1 win-loss. Has only given up 24 earned runs this year. He struck out 78 and has an obscene 14 walks on this entire season.
Yeah, I think it'll largely come down to Oregon offense against Yale pitching. I think that's what it really comes down to, right? They have two phenomenal starters in Tate Evans and Jack Oman. Obviously, Jack Oman is a name that you may have heard in draft talks earlier in the year. But I think, if Oregon's definitely faced some great pitching this year. Obviously, we faced Jackson Flora, we faced Mason Edwards, Grant Goebel, guys of that nature, right? So I think Oregon's gonna be battle tested, but it'll be very interesting to see if, I guess it's David the Goliath scenario where, Oregon's offense is obviously one to put the ball over the wall, but I think it'll be an interesting matchup. This is the furthest Yale has traveled across the country since like February when they traveled to Pepperdine. But I think it'll be, obviously they're at a disadvantage in that sense in terms of like location. They're obviously the team that has to travel the furthest. But again, these guys are athletes. I don't think that really matters much at the end of the day. But I think it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, who Yale runs out as a starter, and B, if Oregon's offense can just put something up against what is most likely to be a great starter either way.
It's also an interesting thing about what the mentality of Yale is going to be. Are they going to say, "Oh, we're going to play like it's a one-game season, and we're just going to throw everybody that we have against them"?
Yeah.
Or are they going to say, if it's not going well, like let's say Oregon gets to Tate Evans in the first inning and puts up a 3 spot, right? Are they going to pull him and say, "Oh, are we going to go all in on this game and try to pull it back?" Or are we going to say, "We're going to let him write it out and then we'll play for tomorrow"? If at the absolute worst.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously, from Oregon's perspective, it won't be one to look across. Not saying we look past it last year, but obviously, given that we lost to the 4 seed last year as well, I definitely think this is bulletin board material that Waz has definitely prepared the team for coming into prep this week.
Yeah, because especially last year, the big thing that Oregon struggled with in that game was they came out like they kind of picked it up in the like 5th, 6th inning, and then they got the chance in the 8th and the 9th to pull it out, but they didn't do it. So I think it's a good thing that a good chunk of that team, it's not like the super guys last year are still around, but they have enough leaders of that team that remember what happened last year, and hopefully they figure it out again. Our current projection is that Cal Scolari is going to start. I think it was kind of notable that they put Cal Scolari out first last week in the Big Ten Championship with, I assume if there wasn't a delay that they were going to go Cal Scolari first anyways.
Yeah.
I assume that it's going to be Will Sanford on the Saturday, and we'll probably go Maz Gasol on the Sunday game if necessary. But it's really just going to be, as we said, this offense, Oregon's offense against Yale pitching. Because if Oregon can put up the runs, I believe Cal Scolari is good enough to be able to hold them to under 5, hopefully. If you can hold them under 5, I think you'll be able to outscore Yale.
Yeah, and I think just to add a little caveat here, I think another X factor will be Berkeley Mabius. I think that'll be another huge one if it can keep guys from wreaking havoc on the base paths. Obviously, like we said, Yale is kind of a small ball, put the ball in play, get runners on, and steal bases. They have, I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but they steal a lot of bases as a team compared to at least your normal. Right, they stole 148 times this year, and their leading base stealers, Caden Dasa, 28, 28 on stolen bases this year. So obviously him, but not other guys as well. They have Garrett Larson. He steals 31 bases or attempts. Stole 27. He's batting 374. I think that'll be a name to keep an eye out and hopefully keep off the base pass. But they are a team that won't hit. I wouldn't say won't hit a lot of home runs, but they will put the ball in play and they will steal bases if the pitcher lets them get on via the walk. So another X factor, Berkeley Mabius, keep him off the base paths, keep the control the running game as much as possible.
Yeah, I'm excited for what this this regional is going to be. I think the last thing that I think we're gonna especially talk about is this bullpen of Yale. They have 2 guys that will go the distance. It's basically similar to what 2023 Oregon was, where it's like a starter and then they have one bullpen guy and they basically throw it until his arm falls off. They have 2 of them. They have Matteo Spadaccini, he's pitched 33 and 2/3 innings over this year, and he has a 3.74 ERA. He's played 17 games, has 2 saves, and basically him and Ben Winslow, who has one of the most insane stat sheets I've ever seen, where he has an 81.8 left on base percentage.
Yeah, that's absurd for the amount of innings he's pitched too.
Yeah, and he basically just prevents runs from scoring, and he just pitches depth. One of this games, he came in and pitched 7 innings after the starter, and he's basically pitched 2-3 innings every time. So it's if you can get past both of these guys, I think they've kind of run out of the bullpen depth. That's the truth, but don't expect just because you knock Tate Evans out of the game in good time that the pitching's going to get any easier.
Yeah, I will guarantee that once you get however many innings, most likely 3, 4, 5, 6, from US perspective, ideally, you will see Teo Spadaccini, or Ben Winslow warming up to enter the ball game, and they will try to eat up innings. You probably will see maybe if they get the starter gets knocked out early, whether it's Ullman or Evans, you'll see another guy beforehand. But I would not be surprised if it goes to those two right out of the gate for Yale.
Yep. But do you have anything else to add, Kenny?
I think this will be a very interesting test. They're two different. Oregon and Yale are two different types of teams, but they play in similar fashions, just definitely in the small ball sense. We'll see how this game goes. Remember, it is a 5 p.m. first pitch on ESPN Plus, unless times get pushed back. But for now, expect a 5 p.m. first pitch on ESPN Plus. If you are local to the Eugene area or nearby, try to get out to PK Park. Make sure it's green and yellow. Be loud. But if you're not, we'll be posting throughout the night on Twitter and Instagram. And we'll make sure, as always, we'll make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube or Spotify, where we get your podcast. And we'll see you guys back here in advance of the next episode, previewing Oregon's next game. With that being said, we'll see you guys back for the next episode.